Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 23 with me, Dan, and the Slothz team, the unrealistically dominant Slothz team. We'll be trying to put a change to that by once again increasing the difficulty up to 100. The first time ever that I've been on a difficulty this high, probably besides trying to get challenges for those seasonal XP boosts on F1 22 if you ever bothered to do any of those on that game. So continuing on through the calendar, we've got a chassis department event to get a discount on the improved energy store cells, which might be weight redistribution or weight reduction. I can't remember off the top of my head. Or we get 400 resource points. We're going to go for the resource points here because we've already got a slight discount on that component. There's a quality control for the aero department, which is nice, and through to the race weekend we go because we have a sprint race this weekend, so we get to run around for an extra few laps of Austria. So into practice we go, and we'll be picking up all of those 100% boosts. Of course, we're one practice session short this time because we've got the sprint race, so we'll have this session to try and get those 120 points boosts. And then we'll see if we can pick up any more here as well. We'll go for the short ones. Tyre wear for short. Yep, there we go. 60 points. We're forced to go for this reliability upgrade, which we do get. Then another one, which we do get. Another rear downforce upgrade, which we've already picked up a few so far, which we do also get. But we've run out of time to pick up the last 60 points. So that's the end of practice, and over to R&D we go. There's the improved energy store cells, which is weight reduction, but we're going to go into aero here and pick up the rear wing upper flap just to rebalance the car. We've still got some left over, so we're going to get some drag reduction upgrades. This is the performance graph so far. You can see we're slap bang in the middle of everybody, yet somehow we're still able to win half the races this season. Hopefully, though, things will change this race. So then, over to Austria. If you're a watcher of the channel, you'll probably be surprised that this is on the calendar this year, considering the struggles that we had here in the past on F1 22. Pretty much every single curb would send you into the shadow realm, and traction was an absolute nightmare. But it's back, and we'll see how we get on here today out of curiosity. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell as well, so you know when all these races are uploaded. And we'll get underway with the starting grid for the sprint race here in Austria. And on the front row we have Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Hamilton just pipping his teammate by 0.02 of a second there to pole position. What will happen in the sprint, though, we'll have to find out. Behind them we have Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris, followed by Pierre Gasly and me, who I didn't set a lap time, Valtteri Bottas and Alex Albon, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Jack Doohan, Yuki Tsunoda, Joe Guan Yu and Oscar Piastri, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, and finally it's Logan Sargent and Nick De Vries. Unsurprisingly, didn't set a lap time in Q3 because we were basically destroying everybody in qualifying again, so I decided to leave it for the time being and see what we could do in the sprint instead. Right then, let's see how we get on in Austria. Also, amazingly, the Mercedes are doing incredibly well after the day one patch. Not sure who at Mercedes is paying Codemasters to do that, but apparently that is a thing. As we come down into turn one, we're all over the place, getting attacked now by Alex Albon and Valtteri Bottas up the hill. We've got messages from Jeff, which we do not care about, coming through the team radio as we try and go down the inside of Albon. It's not going to happen, so we're going to have to try and defend here from Bottas. We've got a yellow flag behind, which is unsurprising for this race, but we stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo, going onto the grass because we're following Alex Albon so closely. Come down into the hairpin cup, we send it round the outside. No, we have a slight lock up there as he makes contact with Pierre Gasly, but now we've got Valtteri Bottas up the inside here, challenging for, well, no points at all for once, and Bottas gets through. This is the sort of action that we wanted from this career mode. We don't want to be winning every single race, we want it to be a fight for the points. and we want to be fighting for at least P10 if possible, because that seems the most realistic for where we are right now, especially looking at where Doohan is, who's just 2 places back, now 1 place back. We'll have to try and change that, though, as we go around the outside of Bottas again. Into the braking zone we go. Still no points on offer for this, but we get past him nice and easy and continue on chasing down Albon to try and retake P10. Action ahead, though. And it slowed the entire field down as we come down up the hill. We hit the sausage curb. That's brutal on the outside tyre, that one. But down towards the braking zone up the hill. Everybody kind of out of position here. We're going to go slightly to the left there, locking up as we try and slow the car down. Ocon, Gasly even, a big loser there. And now Alex Albon is being challenged for P9. We take it away from him briefly, but he's coming back at us around the outside. What can he do? He hangs on just about, but he loses the position. And we take away an extra point there. Now chasing down Lando Norris. Oh my god, then he rear ends the traffic going out of the hairpin there. But we set ourselves up quite nicely on the exit, and we go to the outside of Norris. What can we do here in the Perez queue? Around the outside of Norris, he's still there. The McLaren fighting it. This is what we've wanted since the start of the career mode. Norris is still on our outside, trying to fight this one, but we close the gap, and he has to sit behind us now. Up ahead, we've got all the cars up to P3, which is held by Sergio Perez, and then looks as though one of the Mercedes and one of the Ferraris has broken away and just driven off into the sunset. That could be Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz. No, it's Hamilton and Leclerc as we then get confirmation, riding with the TV cam, following Lando Norris and ourselves up the hill. Alex Albon now getting into the mix as well. It's over a handful of points, but it's absolutely brilliant that we're having this fight in the first place. Norris goes around the outside. He's ahead at the DRS detection line, which is an absolute suicidal move for him to make as we then get the DRS, and we are the fastest car on the grid in a straight line. We go to the outside here, and he gets to challenge us on his turf in the corners. Around the outside, we try and go. We managed to get past him here this last time. Up the inside again. Norris still with us on the outside. Albon waiting for one of us to have a nasty accident and take away P9 or P8 for the both of us. But we sweep round the outside of Norris and come down towards the pit straight for the penultimate lap. Still fighting away. Everyone else up ahead of us has just disappeared into the distance. They may calm down here, but Norris has put himself in a difficult situation. He's under attack from Alex Albon into turn 1. We're going to go on board with him now as Albon slides one up the inside, the cheeky bugger, and he's managed to get alongside him as they run down towards the hairpin at turn 3. Norris now behind Albon, but Albon's going to get the DRS tow from us anyway. Good stuff from Albon and Norris. The battle of the Brits here in Austria as we go on board with our teammate who's now fighting Valtteri Bottas as well. Unsuccessfully on the final lap, and is now under attack from Lance Stroll. This is for P13. He started a little way back from this as well, so he's making up positions quite nicely here, is Jack Doohan. And onto the DRS straight they go. What can he do against the Flying Finn, who doesn't have DRS? He's going to try it. No, he doesn't. Sits in behind the Alfa Romeo, and that's going to be his last opportunity to try and get an overtake in. Not that it matters, because he's improved up to 13th from where he started, and we've managed to improve up to 8th. And thankfully, though, over full race pace as opposed to qualifying, it looks as though we're at Ferrari standards in that we are incredibly fast on a one-lap pace. Not so fast in a race. Primarily helped out for the entertainment purposes this time by retiring at the end of Q3 in order to not get pole position. There we go, P8 at the end of the sprint race. Sergio Perez picks up driver of the day for this. and we'll get on to the final results of the sprints. There they are. Pause the video if you would like to know what they are, but we're going to go straight into the next race. Right then, on to the main event here in Austria. So we've seen over one lap pace that we were fairly good, then deliberately retired in Q3 to make things interesting, and I'm glad I did, because when we got into the actual race itself, we had an excellent battle with Lando Norris and Alex Albon for just a handful of points, and that's what we should be fighting for throughout the course of this championship at least. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell once again, just so you know when all of these are uploaded, and you can watch our progress from our humble beginnings here as a midfield player all the way up to world champion. Onto the starting grid for the main event. Has anyone got any penalties? We'll find out. Lewis Hamilton will start on pole position again. This time he is joined though by the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Behind them, George Russell and Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. Max Verstappen and Radiant Slothz, Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Jack Doohan, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Joe Granu and Oscar Piastri, Hulkenberg and Kevin Magnussen. There's Albon with a penalty alongside Yuki Tsunoda, and then we have Logan Sargent and Nick de Vries sharing the back row once again. And let's head down to the grid now, see what's going on down there. We've got the Mercedes supercar out, and all of our temperatures have now just switched to Fahrenheit because this is a great game. And there is Nico Hulkenberg reading some stuff with his tablet, preparing for the race. And there we are, up into P8, hoping to have an interesting race here once again and fight for some points. Right then, so the struggles of Austria are behind us now after the jump to F1 23. We're away here in Austria once again for the second time today. We've already got Norris challenging us into turn one. He's going to go to the outside, but we managed to hold on there. But Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso have made contact into turn one, and it's put them both in a difficult situation. We're right on the gearbox of Fernando Alonso here, challenging for P6. Carlos Sainz to the medium was a sitting duck into the first corner. I'm going to try and go for this early straighten up here as we get past, somehow not illegally, with the yellow flags there waving. Fernando Alonso is going to try and come back at us. We're going to force him to go around the outside. No contact as of yet. We give him some space, and Fernando Alonso stays with us. Lando Norris picks up a penalty for something, potentially an illegal overtake, and Fernando Alonso takes away the position. But look at this, Lando Norris. Now he doesn't care anymore. He's just scrapping away with us after coming off second best in the sprint race, and now picking up a penalty, probably for looking at a corner cut, as Carlos Sainz now dives down the inside into the penultimate corner, and we have to try and fend him off now. We've managed to do it, and we retain P7, but we've got two fast cars behind us and two drivers who apparently have nothing to lose. This was our start. There's Sainz. Now this is interesting here. So Fernando Alonso cuts the curve slightly, spins off into the Ferrari. It compromises them both. And then we're able to just capitalise on that and slot in behind the Aston Martin, which apparently had good enough straight line speed to stop us from getting past him as well. Into the right-hander, and we get past him. But as we know, it didn't last. This is Carlos Sainz watching our battle with Norris. Norris scrapping away here, coming off second best. But look at the speed of the Ferrari as he comes down towards the pit lane entrance, only being compromised here by that shallow line on the final corner. Nothing that he could do there besides back off. And this is lap 4. We've managed to retain our position ahead of Norris and Sainz for now, but Norris gets past us on the pit straight, only to make the same mistake that he did earlier on and give us the DRS. There it goes, and we've absolutely wiped the floor with the McLaren and head into the hairpin at turn 3. His 5-second penalty still there for Norris. Is he going to try and come back at us into the straight? It doesn't look as though he is. But he is going to come back at us here, though. He's right behind us as we start to head up the hill. goes to the outside and bruises by. Carlos Sainz also having a think about it as well, but we're going to get the DRS now as we go across the straight at the top of the hill. Can we get past Norris, though? That's the question. We don't really want to be stuck behind him too long. At the moment, it seems that he's only getting past us with the DRS, so through all the other parts of the track, he's actually much slower. Down into turn 1. Again, on the sausage curve, it's brutal out there. As we come up the hill, now DRS open. We don't need the ERS just yet. We're going to save that for later. Norris is going to challenge. He gets ahead at the DRS detection point again. And he gifts us the DRS. Thank you, Lando Norris, for the DRS there. And potentially, Carlos Sainz will get past him as well. We'll just have to see. Yes, he is alongside. No, Norris appears to have retained that position. But later on, though, lap 7. Sainz is ahead and Norris has dropped back quite far. Sainz is going to try and get past us now. We're within DRS range of Alonso. We've caught up to the scrapping pack up ahead. And Sainz, for whatever reason, has decided to gift us the DRS. There, he does get it from Alonso. And as we run up the hill into turn 3, we're going to go around the outside of the Ferrari. And with the better grip that we have out there and on this tyre still, which is seemingly doing okay, we go powering off into the distance. Sainz will have to wait for a new opportunity. Our teammate, though, Jack Doohan, in P11, potentially going to score points here as we get a yellow flag in Sector 2 for something. Looking up ahead, I don't see anything yet, but we may have just driven past it. But look at the leaderboard. Carlos Sainz is dropping down. Jack Doohan now up to P9. Maybe it was Carlos Sainz. Yeah, exit of the corner and all power has gone. And it looks as though he's doing his absolute best to get in everyone's way. Hits Lando Norris there as he drives past every single Marshall post on his way to retirement. Still going here. There's another Marshall post he could stop in. There's another one coming up here. He ignores. Another one on the left-hand side. And he's finally pulled over next to the crane. Okay, interesting. Let's see what Lando Norris had to deal with. Ferrari all over the racing line. Yeah, there it is. Confusion for the AI. And having watched the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying, I guess what they've done there is to make this game incredibly realistic, because I believe it was Carlos Sainz dithering all over the place in front of cars on hot laps at the Wall of Champions. The Wall of Champions featured in our previous race out in Canada, which we managed to pick up a win at. So don't forget to head over there and watch that one if you haven't already. We'll pull into our pit box as we've changed our team colour to purple as the primary now, to try and distinguish us a little bit better from Aston Martin. The pit crew are wearing this hideous outfit, but there's not much we can really do about that. They make a mistake, probably in protest of the fact that they have to wear bright purple. And in comes Jack Doohan for his stop as well. An issue with the rear right for them as well, and he's finally away. That is not good because he was fighting for points. And he's going to come out. Where's he going to come out? Ocon's just coming through turn 1. He's going to be behind Ocon. And that's not good. So Stroll's gained quite well there. As we follow Doohan chasing down Esteban Ocon up the hill. He's up into P12 now. And up ahead, Norris is fighting Stroll for the final couple of points. But this all depends on whether Doohan can get past the Alpine and then break away and try and catch up to the two of them. He has gotten ahead and will get the DRS here. Jack Doohan, the closest he has been to points for some time, and potentially able to score points in his first race of the season. In his rookie season, that's something that we've not had from any of our previous teammates in the past. As we come up the hill, Valtteri Bottas now challenging us, as I was experiencing an issue with my wheel double downshifting, which was something that I didn't actually notice at first and I thought was an issue with the car. It turns out it was the wheel in the end, but an issue which was allowing Valtteri Bottas to catch up, as every time I changed down, it would randomly choose a corner and a time to double downshift. We may see it on board here, and it was a fight to try and get back up to Bottas again. There it is there, actually, from 4th to 2nd through the first corner. Up the hill we go. Can we make a move on Bottas? This time he's going to hold the racing line. Now he moves off it. No double downshift there that time, but we cut the cut back on Bottas. Accelerate away and leave him, yep, just about behind us with 6 laps to go. Not much of a sign of any of the drivers up ahead. Alonso, Verstappen and Russell quite comfortably in their own little fight. Hamilton and Leclerc fighting at the front, but Hamilton's not that close. Bottas now goes to the inside. We're going to go around the outside, but he's gifted us DRS because he was ahead at the line. And we're going to pull away once again. And we rejoin on the final lap. Valtteri Bottas still not managed to get within a close enough attack range. I thought I was seeing rain there. There is no rain. Jack Doohan, unfortunately, dropped back behind Esteban Ocon and is now running in 12th. Was not able to catch up to Stroll and Norris, who are still fighting. There they are. Norris now going for a move up the inside of Stroll. We'll see if that finishes like that by the end of the race. It looks like Stroll is back ahead again. We are still ahead of Bottas. As we come through, the tyres are starting to fall to pieces. But we carry on regardless. Down the hill towards the start-finish line and the checkered flag. Bottas does have an opportunity here into the penultimate corner, but he's not close enough, and I don't think he's fast enough in a straight line to be able to pull that off. Anyway, so we come round the final corner in a fairly realistic finishing position for the first time since Bahrain, and we cross the line. And actually, there is some rain coming down. I didn't think there was, but apparently there is. But it'll probably dry up, though, by the time we get to see everyone on the podium. Esteban Ocon picks up driver of the day as well. But the winner of the race, Charles Leclerc, who picks up a win for Ferrari. The first, I think, unless Carlos Sainz got one earlier on in the season. I've done so much F1 recently, it's hard to keep track of who exactly is winning each race. But there we go. Ferrari are race winners. If not previously, then they are now. And Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez join him on the podium. Hamilton having a pretty good season after being buffed by the person at Codemasters, paid by Mercedes to make their car much faster than it realistically is. So, without further ado, it's the race results. And it's Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez who finished the race weekend at the top of the table. This includes the sprint race results, of course, as well. George Russell, Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen, Radiant Slothz, Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll and Lando Norris all picked up points over the race weekend. Over to the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen remains at the top of the table, ahead of me in second, but he extends his lead ever so slightly. Then we had Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly. Still joint 11th for Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, followed by joint 13th Oscar Piastri and Lance Stroll. Then joint 15th Nico Hulkenberg and Valtteri Bottas, followed by joint 17th Kevin Magnussen and Joe Granu, and Alex Albon is the final point scorer. He's followed by Nick De Vries, Jack Doohan and Logan Sargent. And over to the Constructors' Championship, we have dropped down behind Mercedes finally. Red Bull still lead by 61 points to Ferrari, followed by Mercedes and then us. Then we have Aston Martin, McLaren, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Haas, Alfa Romeo and Williams. And that's all for now. We'll catch you next time.